Good morning, everybody, or evening, or afternoon, or wherever you find yourself when you get to see this. Just had myself another sleepless morning. Well, a couple days actually. I've been getting a lot of input and information and downloads, and um, haven't really had a lot of time to let it out. And I've been processing it. Still, I'm processing it, and will continue to process it. But felt that it was definitely time and time for me to share some of it and see who it speaks to. I think there's a little bit of truth for anyone who's willing to listen. And um, I guess I have to preface saying that the things I've been learning, the things that I have been experiencing, and the answers to my prayers and my meditations, which are so beautiful to be experiencing, but also very jarring. You don't always, you have to be careful what you ask for because you'll get it if you know where to look, and if you're being really truly honest about what you're searching for, what truth you're looking for. And these new truths, or I guess I shouldn't say new, this new information to me, the new truth that I'm processing and really trying to integrate, I should warn you guys that it's going to come with a little bit more tough love, a little bit more loving, brutal honesty, because I think that that is something that I know that I'm not necessarily always the strongest at. I don't want to make people uncomfortable or ruffle their feathers intentionally. And that's not to say that that's what I would intentionally be doing, but sometimes tough love is the best love, as long as it comes from love. And sometimes, you see a lot of frustration and smack talking, if you will, about millennials and their entitlement and the things that are wrong with society today. And the things that I've been learning, I think, play into that a lot. And I think a lot of what is wrong with our society is, or not even just our society, the world that we're living in, is that we are finding ourselves in a morally ambiguous place, and that a lot of people just don't want to face the reality that they play a part in the situation that we found ourselves in, one way or another. Generally speaking, with how we use the devil's toilet paper or the almighty dollar. And, you vote every day, every moment, every chance that you get with what you're doing with your money, how you view your money, how you treat your money. And, if you guys haven't had an opportunity yet to check out a guy named Mark Passio, Passio, I'll link it in the description down below as well. This is where a large part of some of this information has started integrating with me, but he makes an argument for the fact that money could be viewed as the ultimate god or religion on the earth, and what that kind of means, how that plays out, if you will, or how that has played out. And we don't like to face those uncomfortable truths that we are funding bad people, or we are making decisions out of convenience, that we don't look at the long-term effect. We don't look at what the effect will be on our children, our children's children, on us. It's getting to that point, and what it's doing, that even though we may not see the direct consequences of our actions right away, that they are there, and they are there for some people. And I firmly believe as well, if you haven't looked up the Ubuntu movement yet either, what they talk about, which is a moneyless society that started in South Africa, but their kind of philosophy is, if it's not good for one, then it's not good for all. Because in reality, we're all our own minorities. We're all a part of the minority. And if we aren't looking out for the minority, then we're not looking out for the whole. And I think we get, there's a lot of crooked thinking. And in some ways, I just want to, again, warn everybody for some of the changes that will be coming in the way I converse with people, the way I present information. And I just hope you guys always know that it comes from a place of deep love, that I think that it's time, we need to start shaking some people awake. We need to start having those hard conversations. We need to be able to start encouraging and lovingly asking people to start really giving themselves a little bit more introspection as to what their thoughts, actions, and behaviors are really saying. Are those three things in your life in alignment? Are your thoughts in alignment with your feelings? Is what you're thinking truly what you believe and what you feel? And if that's the case, if that's what you truly believe and feel, are your actions demonstrating that? And I think that if we can all start to really start looking at those things and working through that process, we can find ourselves into a more genuine space to really, be the world that we want to see, to create freedom. I mean, that's what I feel like it's all about right now. If we're really honest with ourselves, we are an enslaved society. We are an enslaved world, and we're never going to get freedom. We're never going to get, all these things that we say that we want, that are great things to aspire to, prosperity and peace and freedom and, all these things, that we're never going to get those things for ourselves or for the masses when we still have slavery in our world. So I just want to encourage some people. A lot of this comes from some esoteric occult knowledge, and I don't like to use that word. I agree that it's been very mislabeled, very misunderstood. Apologize. I'm right by an airport. So, wow. Big plane. But I think that, there's a lot of misunderstanding around it intentionally. If you don't know that the word occult just means hidden knowledge, and before you have your knee-jerk reaction to whatever that may mean, understand that there is occult knowledge that has been used for good, trying to help humanity, and there has been occult knowledge, hidden knowledge, that has been hidden for nefarious reasons, to, again, enslave us. But these truths are readily available. They're not hidden any longer. If anyone is willing to, look, if you are interested, if you're wanting to see what's really going on, you have the world at your fingertips. We're in a very exciting time. And there's really no excuse, no reason that if you say you're truly genuine and you feel you're truly genuine and wanting to learn more, what is the truth? We've been lied to so much, and I think everybody at the core level understands that and is starting to know that on some level. There's something not quite right. There's something just a little bit off, and we can feel it in our heart, in our gut, that something's not quite the way that it seems, and you can't put your finger on it, or maybe you can. Maybe it depends on where you are in your journey, how awake you are to reality. And I know that I've heard several people, and I know that it's a common thing, and it's something that is used to keep us enslaved, but a lot of people are much more comfortable with a comfortable lie than an uncomfortable truth. And I think that that's something that we all really need to look into ourselves about and think about to ourselves. Are we living in a life? Are we choosing to see life and not see life because we feel that gut reaction that if we knew what was really going on, it would make us sick to our stomach, and we couldn't live in a world that was like that? And I ask you to really be honest with yourself and think about that just because you don't see, you've got your head in the sand and your butt up in the air, and think about that. When you've got your head buried in the sand, that position, imagine your head buried in the sand. You would have to be on your knees, and where does that leave your bottom? And what kind of vulnerable position does that leave you in? That, to me, kind of symbolizes and visually really shows what doing that to yourself, how that leaves you truly exposed and vulnerable to being taken advantage of, and having no way to defend yourself. So, if you choose to live in a world where you would rather live with a comfortable lie, does that mean that the world you're living in really exists within this comfortable lie? I mean, truth is truth. There's no other, there's one solid truth. You hear that saying all the time. There's three truths. There's that person's truth, and what actually happened. Well, in reality, yes, there is a combination of all of that. Truth will always be truth. And I love what so many people have said, that, truth is like a lion, and you just have to set it out there, and it will defend itself. It will fight for itself. But I think I agree with Mark Passio as well, that, in a lot of ways, some people think that you don't have to defend truth because it will defend itself. I would also agree with the argument that there are so many lies, so many deceptions that we're faced with as well, that the truth is just constantly being flat out, just blasphemed against. It's just a lie. And, that Lady Liberty needs to be defended if we want her to survive, if we want truth to really reign in our world, because it doesn't matter whether you believe something's going on. If it's happening, it's happening. And ignoring it, it's like getting sick. Like, pumpkin, hey, sorry. What happens if you ignore something, a sickness? Say you've got a spot on your leg or some kind of lump in your body that you're feeling, and you don't want to face that could be something bad. That it's something bad, and it's probably okay. And you just keep lying to yourself, and you keep trying to convince yourself it's nothing. Well, what happens by the time that you go and get it checked out to find out what's really happening? It's gotten much worse, right? So that, I believe, is where our society is at right now. And yes, it is, it's easy to find blame and point all the different things and wrong, people and organizations and entities and governments and policies and whatnot, you name it. It's very easy to point the blame out, but like I said last time, just as easily as we can point out, there's way more fingers pointing back at us, and we have to take responsibility for the things that we've done individually and collectively to put us in this situation where we are now, and choose, if we really want to, which I think we do. Nobody likes to be a slave, and that's why this knowledge is occulted, why it's hidden, because if the knowledge is hidden for the few and the masses are held prisoner by their lack of knowledge, if they're given the opportunity to not be slaves, to be free, do you think that they would really choose to be slaves? I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. That's dumb. It's a dummy question. So, pumpkin! So of course that they know, and that's why they want it hidden. But it's not hidden anymore. We have the ability, the responsibility to choose to figure out a way out of this for ourselves, because no one's going to choose as well to let their slaves go free. All that free money, all that free protection, all that free revenue, all that free sick, guilty pleasure that people get just from having hidden control over people. Pumpkin! Hey! Come here now! Sorry. Pumpkin's a big, bad protector of the baby and me. We got some big old dogs next to her. Come up here and say hi to everybody. Ooh. Oh, there she is. Yes, good morning. Oops. But yeah, so I apologize that these don't come as often as I would like them to, and a lot of that is, like I said, I've just been integrating a lot of information myself. And having a baby and visiting family, being on the road like we have been, and just still recovering from the hurricanes that hit a year ago, you don't realize how much your life can be thrown in the chaos when, there's no plan B per se, or, life doesn't go as you expect, and what do you do from there? But side rant, I do want to be sharing more information with everybody. Helps me to kind of decompress and get it out so that there's more room for more to come in. And it also, I think it's our job and it's our responsibility that when we're finding things out, we need to share it with people. If we really want to be free, if we truly want to get out of this broken system, which I think everybody would agree that there's something wrong. There's something not quite right. I don't think there are very many people in the world who feel that, I think this life is good enough. I think that what we have going on is, satisfactory. There's nothing that I think is wrong or dangerous, or people being, I hope that there aren't people out there that, even though our actions may speak one way, that, I hope that people don't feel that it's really truly acceptable that there are people starving to death on this planet while we're wasting so much food, or that there are literally millions, hundreds of millions of slaves around the world in one form or another that do not have their freedom outright at all and are abused for someone else's benefit. That's just because it's not me, it's not my direct experience, that doesn't mean that doesn't matter. I really don't believe that most people feel that way. I believe that it's easy for us to turn a blind eye, out of sight, out of mind. Again, something we do intentionally because we don't want to face the ugly truths of what's going on, but not facing it is not going to make anything better. So, I think that's it for my rant today. I appreciate those who have listened. There will be more coming. Again, if you have time, I will let you know that these first 3 videos, the seminar that I've been really processing and digesting lately, is pretty long. I mean, it's hours long, but it's broken down into 3 parts, and it's very doable. I think that once you get in, you'll find that it's super easy for everybody to understand. And yes, it is a little rough around the edges, and Mark Passio is not the type of guy to hold back or sugarcoat anything, and a lot of people have a hard time accepting that or breaking out of the box that their brain has been put into. But he explains it better than me. I would say that, everybody has a couple hours within their life where they're driving around or cooking in the kitchen, whatever the case may be. It's very easy to just throw something on and listen to it. And even if you have to listen to it a couple times or just whatever, letting that information start to seep into your awareness, into your brain, and knowing that you have the ability to change your life, to change life of all of us, the life of the planet, the life that we're experiencing. And again, it's so cliche. You hear it all the time. We have to be the change that we want to see in the world. And it's just never going to change. No matter how many times we say it, that is the reality. So again, I just want to encourage everyone to really, look into some of these things. Start looking into what natural law is. What is consciousness? How does the experience of everybody on this planet create the experience of everybody on this planet? There's a lot of information out there that's very easy for us, and that's right in front of our face all the time. We just may not realize what we're looking at or what we're listening to or what it is. I would really encourage you to take responsibility for the life that you want to see, the changes that you want to have made in your own life and in the world, because that's where it's going to start. So on that note, I love you guys. Pumpkin loves you guys. I miss you all. I'm so glad I get to be with you in heart and in spirit and in this beautiful place we call the internet. So I hope you have a wonderful day. You can check out some of the links I posted and hopefully be back soon. Bye.